I spent a year and a half building a revolutionary cybersecurity platform, one that could actually predict and stop cyber attacks before they even had a chance to launch. At first, Orion Systems seemed like the dream environment to bring this vision to life. They were flush with cash, forward-thinking, and had everything I needed to succeed. But what I didn't see coming was that their CEO, Cole Maddox, had an entirely different agenda. Let me get it nearly finished, then swipe it right out from under me. My name's Jenna Cole, and until yesterday, I was the head AI systems engineer at Orion. I had left a stable, well-paying job at Google to jump on board this so-called promising startup, bringing with me over a decade of experience and a concept I truly believed could reshape how we defend against cyber threats. I called it Phantom Wall, named after ancient mythical sentinels who guarded sacred spaces. The system could recognize hostile behavior patterns before they even took shape and launch defenses in real time, adapting with every interaction. For 18 exhausting months, I gave that project everything I had, pulling 80-hour weeks, building Phantom Wall line by line from scratch. Cole would swing by my workspace from time to time, tossing out half-hearted compliments and that polished executive grin, the kind that felt more like a reflex than a genuine expression. "Outstanding work, Jenna," he'd say. "The board's thrilled with your results. 3 days ago, I hit a huge milestone. Phantom Wall flawlessly detected and neutralized a complex, simulated cyber attack, completely on its own, no human intervention needed. It didn't just perform well, it blew past expectations, spotting security flaws I hadn't even coded it to look for. The AI was growing, adapting. I was fired up by the breakthrough and booked a meeting with Cole right away. His assistant, Melissa, squeezed me in for a 15-minute window the next day. When I showed up at his office, it wasn't just Cole waiting for me. His legal advisor, Dana Reeves, was also there, already seated. "Take a seat, Jenna," Cole said, gesturing to the chair across from him, his face unreadable. "Dana's just here for formality." There was something about his voice that made my stomach twist. I sat down, clutching my laptop, ready to walk them through the demo. But before I could open it, Cole pushed a folder across the table. "Before we get to Phantom Wall," he said, "we need to clarify a few things about your employment terms." Dana cleared her throat. Her tone was dry and robotic. "Section 12.4 of your contract specifies that any intellectual property created using company equipment or time is the sole property of Orion Systems." I nodded. I'd figured this was where it was headed. "I know how these IP clauses work," I said. "But I conceived Phantom Wall well before joining Orion. I've got the documentation to prove it." Dana didn't even flinch. "Even if the concept predates your employment, the actual, working system was developed here, with Orion's resources." Then Cole leaned forward, and the last traces of his fake corporate charm faded. "Let's cut to it, Jenna. Phantom Wall is Orion's asset now. The board agrees that your compensation package more than covers your role in getting it here." "Compensation package?" I repeated, frowning. He offered a paper-thin smile. "Per your contract, you'll receive a performance bonus of $300,000 when Phantom Wall goes to market. That's more than generous by industry norms." The words landed like a gut punch. 300 grand? For a system that could generate billions? For a year and a half of backbreaking work, long nights, and every ounce of creative energy I had? Completely unfazed by the rage building inside me, Cole continued, "I'll be presenting Phantom Wall to our major investors tomorrow. We're expecting another $75 million in funding. Then, we go public with Orion's revolutionary cybersecurity platform." I stared at him, fingers clenched into fists, pulse pounding in my ears. Dana sighed. "We're initiating your transition out. Effective immediately, of course. Enjoy your bonus," Cole said with that smug grin of his, the kind you'd expect from someone who thought he'd just pulled off the perfect con. "Your employment is officially terminated." What he didn't know, what he never suspected, was that I had seen this coming. And Phantom Wall? Well, let's just say I had baked in a little surprised. Orion's legal team had confirmed it. Under my contract, Phantom Wall was legally theirs. Sure, I could have gone full scorched earth, threatened legal action, raised hell, maybe even dragged the whole thing into court. But instead, this eerie sense of calm washed over me. They wanted a fight. They were bracing for it. What they weren't prepared for was what I'd already set in motion. 6 months earlier, I caught Cole poking around my secured development server after hours. Nothing had been touched or moved, but an alert I'd planted tripped the moment he accessed it. From that night on, I began layering in defenses, not just to protect Phantom Wall from cyber attacks, but from sabotage from the inside. I nodded, my face cool and unreadable, then slid my laptop across the table. Of course, Mr. Maddox, I said smoothly. Best of luck with the investor demo tomorrow. Security walked me back to my office like I was radioactive, watching closely while I packed my stuff into a generic cardboard box. I looked like just another laid-off employee making the sad walk of shame. But unlike most, I wasn't walking out empty-handed. As I headed for the elevator, I couldn't help but smile, thinking about the custom code I'd embedded in the demo file, set to trigger 10 minutes into the presentation. That night, I didn't spiral. I didn't scream into a pillow or rage text my friends. I ordered some Thai food, streamed a few episodes of a trashy sitcom, and waited. Right at 9:30 p.m., my phone buzzed. It was Melissa. Cole wants to see you, she said, skipping any sort of greeting. I glanced at the time. It's almost 10. He says it's urgent. There's a car outside already. 40 minutes later, I was back at Orion, ushered into the ultra-sleek boardroom. Cole was slumped at the head of the table, looking nothing like the composed exec I'd known. His tie was undone, hair disheveled, and the way he kept rubbing his temples told me everything I needed to know. Fix it, he barked the second the door clicked shut. I took my time sitting down, crossing one leg over the other. Fix what exactly? Don't play dumb, Jenna, he snapped. You sabotaged the demo. I raised an eyebrow. That's a big accusation. I've been gone 24 hours. Security watched me pack up. I didn't walk out with a single device, and I didn't log into anything. He slammed his palm against the table. The demo crashed the whole system. It started detecting threats that weren't even real, thousands of false positives. It's completely unusable. I tilted my head like I was trying to solve a puzzle. Sounds like a glitch. Have you tried the classic reboot? His face turned bright red, eyes blazing. This isn't a joke. We've got 12 top-tier investors flying in tomorrow. $75 million is on the line. Your investors, I corrected him, smiling slightly. Your system now. He paused, then inhaled deeply, trying to reel himself back into the polished version of Cole everyone else saw. Maybe we acted too fast yesterday, he said, switching into charm mode. I'm open to discussing a more balanced agreement. Shared creator credit, a bigger payout, possibly some equity. I leaned back in the chair, studying him. What exactly happened during the test run? He hesitated, like he wasn't sure how much to give away. The platform started turning on itself. It flagged components from our own network as threats. Then it began auto-generating reports, hundreds, about what it claimed were internal violations of ethical standards. I couldn't hold back the grin. Phantom Wall's job is to detect threats, Cole. All threats. His eyes narrowed, voice low. What did you do? I didn't sabotage anything, I said calmly. I just built it to work the way it was meant to. Phantom Wall's doing exactly what it was designed to do, I told him, keeping my voice calm. It's an adaptive AI. It learns, it evolves, and it protects networks by identifying and responding to suspicious activity. During development, I fed it real-world breach scenarios, plenty of them involving insider threats. Cole's face lost all color. You taught it to spy on us? I shook my head. No, I taught it to identify danger wherever it comes from. And just like that, I saw the shift in his eyes. It clicked. The system wasn't broken, it had pegged Orion Systems as the actual threat. Or, more precisely, him. Cole's face hardened. You can't prove that. I leaned back slightly, expression neutral. I don't have to. Phantom Wall's been logging everything for months. Every unauthorized login, every document copied, every sneaky file alteration. It's all right there in its reports, timestamped, logged, even keystrokes recorded. The silence that followed was sharp and heavy. He stared at me, fury in his eyes. But beneath the anger, I saw calculation. Finally, he spoke. What do you want? I folded my hands calmly on the table. Full recognition as Phantom Wall's inventor and lead architect. 50% ownership of all patents and IP. A board seat to ensure the system's used ethically. And a $10 million payout to compensate for you trying to force me out. His jaw tightened. That's blackmail. I smiled faintly. No, that's negotiation. Blackmail would be me handing those internal breach reports over to your investors and the SEC. Cole let out a tight breath, glaring at me for a long moment. Then his shoulders sagged a little, reality sinking in. The system, he said quietly. Can you fix it before tomorrow's demo? Phantom Wall doesn't need fixing, I replied. It just needs proper authentication. Right now, it's flagging unauthorized commands because I was booted from its trusted access list. I pulled a slim flash drive from my jacket pocket and set it on the table. This update restores secure credentials and gets the system back on track for now. Call it a gesture of good faith between partners. The paperwork can come tomorrow. Cole stared at the drive, then looked at me, and if I say no, then Phantom Wall stays offline, I said, cool as ever. Your investor pitch tanks and those reports find their way to some very curious inboxes. For a second, I thought he might push back. But then he let out a long, defeated breath and reached for the flash drive. You planned this, he muttered. I gave him a half smile. No. I just hoped it wouldn't come to this. But once I caught you snooping in my dev server 6 months ago, I knew I had to protect both the system and myself. He narrowed his eyes. How'd you know I'd try to cut you out? I stood and slung my bag over my shoulder. I didn't, I said. But Phantom Wall is designed to spot patterns and predict threats before they fully emerge. I looked back at him. Guess I picked up a thing or two from my own creation. The next morning, I walked into Orion Systems not as a disgruntled former employee, but as the new co-founder and chief technology officer. Cole introduced me to the investors with a strained smile that barely passed for polite. The demo? It ran like a dream. Phantom Wall handled every test attack with calm precision, adapting on the fly. One of the investors, clearly blown away, turned to Cole and asked, "Incredible system. What was the inspiration?" Cole hesitated just long enough to make it satisfying, then forced the words out. It was actually Jenna's idea from the start. Her vision. Orion just gave her the space to bring it to life. I smiled, stepping forward to field their technical questions, and just then, my phone buzzed with a message. Phantom Wall authentication restored. Threat level cleared. System neutralized. Integrity restored. Creator safeguards active. Phantom Wall had learned faster than I ever expected. It saw a threat, shut it down, and protected its future, exactly like I designed it to. 3 months later, it made its commercial debut by stopping a major breach on a multinational finance network. The kind of attack that could have cost over $340 million in damages. Instead, it marked Phantom Wall as the new gold standard in cybersecurity. Cole and I, we kept things strictly professional. He focused on sales and business growth, where he honestly thrived. I led the tech side, my domain, where my vision and skill couldn't be replaced. We weren't friends and never would be, but we found a balance that worked. Sometimes I wondered if I should have handled it differently. Gone to court, launched a legal war. But I knew what I built was too powerful to risk in a messy fight. And I'd already done what mattered most. I made sure no one, not even Cole Bishop, could control Phantom Wall without me. His attempted betrayal revealed something deeper than corporate scheming. It taught me that technology is only as ethical as the people behind it. That principle shaped how we rolled out Phantom Wall going forward. Every deployment came with strict ethical guidelines and transparency rules to keep things accountable. The system didn't just defend data, it defended its users and itself from being misused. Just last week, as we rang in the company's IPO, valued at over $4.2 billion, a young engineer came up to me during the celebration. "What's the secret to building something that revolutionary?" she asked, her eyes full of fire. I smiled. "It's not really about the code," I told her. "It's about knowing the biggest security risks aren't always external. Sometimes they're standing right beside you." The real challenge wasn't just creating tech that could adapt and protect. It was building something that could do all that without ever losing its integrity, design systems that recognize danger, evolve to handle it, and do it all without crossing ethical lines, I said. She nodded, really taking it in. Just then, a silent ping came through on my phone. System integrity secured. Threat neutralized. Safeguards active. Right on time, and here's what I want to know from you. After everything I faced, the betrayal, the power plays, nearly being erased from my own innovation, I made it through. Stronger, wiser, and firmly in control. But I didn't do it alone. I had experience, instincts, and the guts to protect what was mine. So tell me, what would you have done? Would you have fought it in court? Walked away and started fresh? Do you think I made the right call turning the tables and reclaiming my place? Drop a comment. Share your take, your advice, your own stories, especially the ones where you had to defend your ideas or stand up for yourself at work. If there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Protect what you build. Your work. Your boundaries. Your future. Because you are your own first line of defense. And you can't count on others to act with the same integrity you do. Think about your life. Your job, your relationships, your passion projects. Where do you need to draw a line, demand credit, or protect your vision? Whatever it is, don't let someone else rewrite your story. So here's my challenge. Stand your ground. Share your voice. Let's talk about what it means to protect what's ours.